And here we go. We are underway for our Class 6A state championship. Into the end zone, and Lamont will start at their own 20. Let's send it downstairs and check in with our sideline reporters. First to Kelly Krall.
Thanks a lot, Matt Wilson.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Garrett, thank you very much. It's incredible to watch the amount of freedom that we'll see here from Lamont and the Indians offense, considering they're a 3-6 team a year ago, and they have some new parts, but they're not that far away removed from an abbreviation to their success level that they've had the last couple of years.
Yeah, when you have Dawson, with 46 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions, that just shows the kind of confidence they have in him that he's going to make plays and not make mistakes. Sometimes it's not about beating your opponent, it's that you don't beat yourself.
First look at Anthony Martin, the freshman. That's right, a freshman running back for the Lamont Indians, and he will loom large as well. So you add in a couple of things. You have Anthony Martin, a freshman. You have a brand new head coach. And for a while, after being 3-6, this Lamont team was just working out, not knowing who that coach would be. Brett Coy steps in, and then Flynn Nagel transfers from Marist back to his hometown school in Lamont. Play action, Dawson to throw, right side, open man, Jamie Glista, and he couldn't hang on. Incomplete. Coverage on that one. Kevin Jackson was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Kevin Jackson came to the neighborhood late. He was knocking on the door. Nobody let him in. He was very fortunate right there. That was just a flat-out drop. Well-thrown ball by Dawson, as there's no doubt there was a coverage that wasn't finished. And maybe at the last second he got in and impeded the vision.
Yeah, that just crossed that field of vision just a little bit. Get a look at the Indian sideline there. And a 3rd and 14 coming up for Lamont, their first possession. They don't want to go 3 and out.
Started with a penalty.
And Dawson, pump fake. Looking for help. Now he's got to run around, and ran into his own man. As a result, the scramble, nowhere to go. And Nazareth's defense, coverage sack, so to speak, downfield.
Well, right there, Dawson surveyed the defense, nothing going. He checked, he went through his progressions, looked once, looked twice, and then just basically ran into a wall, ran into his own offensive lineman. You see a pretty good push right there by Naz, which breaks down the pocket. And then just no lane to go as he ran into his own lineman, David Kacharski.
Flynn Nagel will do the punting duties for Lamont. 24 times he's done it this year. An average of about 34 yards a punt and a line drive. It gets the Turk bounce to go the other way, though. And so good field position for Naz to start things off after a 29-yard punt. Jonah Baudet is the starting quarterback. 1 and 1A quarterbacks is what they have at Nazareth, and you're going to see a little bit of Carson Bartles as well. These two battled in preseason, and when you ask Tim Rackey, he says, well, we thought we'd have a leader, a winner in the quarterback battle by week 3. But here they were both playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, Baudet basically won the job, but he still shared the job, but he's the one that's been the catalyst in the playoffs.
Baudet keeps it a little quicker than Bartles, and that's why he's the starting quarterback right now. A 9-yard pickup there. He gets within 1 yard of the first down. Let's talk about the keys to the game for Nazareth.
Nazareth keys to the game, there's no doubt in my mind, it's towing the line. You'll see them having to toe the line. What I mean by that, they go 285, tackle to tackle. They got to own the trenches, impose their will up front, and then hold the ground. They're great versus the run. They only let up 89 yards per game. Linebacker play, gap responsibility important.
Baudet deep, Kevin Jackson in towards the end zone, touchdown! Nazareth on the board first after a 35-yard strike. Jonah Baudet loads up and fires, and he finds the senior for his 6th touchdown of the year. And just like that, the Roadrunners are off to the races.
What a great ball. In the pistol formation, he locks in on one receiver, and it was a good one. Catching the ball and turning around and finding it. Great job with his vision to make that catch as he gets spun around in the end zone.
Baudet, his 19th touchdown toss of the year. The extra point by Hillsman is good, and that didn't take long. Naz on the board quickly. Just a couple of minutes in, Tim Rackey likes what he sees from his Naz kids. They're excited. It's 7-0 Roadrunners in front. We'll be back. Good start for Nazareth and the Roadrunners, off to a 7-0 start over Lamont, our Class 6A state championship game. And for the Roadrunners, that deep pass ball down the field. There's Kevin Jackson.
Yeah, 6'3", 175. He turns around, finds the football. That's his 19th catch of the season. You already mentioned his 9 touchdowns, 6 of them receiving, but 27 yards a catch is what he averages. Nice big play potential right there by Kevin Jackson. Came to fruition.
They have weapons all over the field, and the balance that they strike. And when you talk about this Nazareth offense, you know, Brett Coy says, hey, they're scary. Yeah. He knows how scary this offense is. He saw right there how fast they can turn yardage into points.
Well, you get behind the defense and you strike early. We work with a short field. You're a little bit more juiced up right now, even on the defensive side.
Kick off into the end zone, coming out to the 20. So Jimmy Kapors can't do anything with it just yet, and they'll get their second possession to start things off. 3 and out early, going the wrong way as well. Let's look at the Lamont keys of the game for you.
Well, I talk about mix and match. The defense must give different looks and coverages to negate the passing game of Nazareth. They didn't do the good job on that first touchdown pass. And then secondly, over the top. They need to have some explosive plays to Flynn Nagel, Jamie Glista, Jimmy Kapors. They have 46 TD catches combined. They got to get some today.
Dawson under center, fires to the rough side. There's Nagel, his first catch of the day, and they are all over him. No room to run for him. Plenty of Roadrunners in the mix making the stop. Devontae Dunn among them. Look at Ryan Dawson's numbers. Again, we talked about it in the pregame. 46 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. How remarkable is it that it's just 4?
Yeah, and you're talking about 13 games, 256 attempts. Just his ability to read the defenses and to throw the ball away when there's not a play there is just impeccable.
Jet sweep. A little more room to run for Lamont pushing forward. That's Thomas Blecka. For Blecka, the senior, he gets the carry and picks up a first down, 14 yards on the pickup.
I wonder if he's getting some opportunity here early on to try to establish an early running game. To see him have all 4 points, you know, that ball tucked in strong to his armpit. When he was in space, he had it out, then he put it back away when he's about to get hit. Good fundamental football on the big play.
Good start to answering that drive from Nazareth. Their second possession of the game. Dawson goes back under center. That's Dimitri Giatris trying to make the turn, and nowhere to go for him. Dropped in the backfield, right at the line of scrimmage. This defense is awfully good with 6 different players with 7 total sacks this season. And I should say, and that's one of those matchups. When I say 6 different players with 7 sacks, that was the Boylan game. Just the Boylan game alone. That offense is pretty good, and they stuffed them in that first-round matchup.
Yeah, that tells you they have playmakers. That tells you they come at you from different angles.
Second down and 10. Long downs and distance for Lamont so far. There's Nagel on the inside screen. He gets near the first down, about a yard or 2 short. 8 yards in the pickup for him.
Well, they went outside with him on a bubble screen. They go inside screen. They got to get him touching as many ways as they can. Yes, they'll throw it over the middle. Yes, they'll throw it downfield on him. You look at those numbers, and they just jump out at you. 28 touchdown catches as a high school player. Are you kidding me?
18 a year ago when he played at Marist, and he saw Nazareth a year ago playing for Marist in the East Suburban Catholic Conference. And Nazareth did not like what they saw. A 90-yard kick return for a touchdown and a 75-yard catch for a touchdown in that matchup back in September of last year.
7 in the box for Nazareth before penalty markers are thrown.
Play clock's at 0. Not good.
Dead ball. Delay game offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
First time we hear from James Schwartz today.
Talked about it. Every officiating crew that we have is the best there is in their respective levels.
You get a look at Brett Coy, and Lamont head coach. He's been coaching a long time former Lockport and Joliet West coach. He replaced Eric Michelson, who the only reason he's not coaching anymore is because he took the job as principal. So that opened it up. Otherwise, a 3-6 season, just an aberration a year ago. Here they are back in the big time. Dawson stumbling, throwing it away. Was he out of the tackle box? The official's going to say no. This is going to be a intentional grounding penalty.
Boy, you know what? He did everything he could to get outside of the tackle box, just couldn't clear it.
It was going to be 4th down anyway, so all it does is just add some yardage. But that makes a difference with that wind howling from right to left on your TV screen. Could he clear that box? Nope, not quite.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty, spot the foul. Lost it down. 4th down.
Doesn't really matter in the high school level, but something you pay attention to when you get to the higher levels, and they'll be forced to punt.
Well, you know what? They've had a couple penalties early on in this football game. The second punt, that there's no doubt that Tim Rackey's Nazareth Roadrunner is going to get good field position for the second consecutive possession.
Nagel will be back to punt, standing at his own 5-yard line. Julian Love looking for a return. Line drive kick. He'll let it go, and it will roll out of bounds. And so Nazareth with field position once again. A 42-yard punt. A little bit better. No return. And Nazareth, their second possession to try and put some distance between themselves and Lamont early.
Well, Jonah Bode came out firing early on. Touchdown pass to Kevin Jackson. Ryan Dawson's got all the print, doesn't he? But Bode right there with a good first possession completion.
Get a look at Tim Rackey. We've seen it before at this level. Coaching for Driscoll in 4 straight state championships, and it's taken him 10 years to build this program. He lost 13 games in 7 seasons at Driscoll. He lost 2 in his first 2 years at Nazareth, so he knew he had a lot of work to do, but it was a perfect situation for him. And here they are, finally getting back here. He's a guy that, you know, he appreciates this, and these kids get a chance to experience that.
Well, you know, and it's all about, again, it's about building a program and instilling a program and fixing what needs to be fixed to get things back in the right direction. In the right direction is a trip to Champaign.
Nolan Dean with a carry and spinning around for a couple of yards. It still brings up a long 3rd down now.
They like to run Nolan Dean, 6'2", 215. They like to run him on a lot of counter action.
Tempo offense, 3 receivers at the top. Mishandled the snap. Bode has to scramble, and he's going to be dropped well back beyond the 20-yard line. A loss of about 15 yards. 18 to be exact. So Lamont's defense takes advantage of the mistake and will force the punt.
Yeah, they basically flipped the field right here, field position. Just a mishandled snap. It looked like it was there. And then he probably should have just taken the 10-yard sack, in all honesty. He tried to create a play, which is what your head tells you to try to do, is make a play. He was looking away from the snap to his receiver when it came, so miscommunication between center and quarterback right there.
Just a playmaker. That's all he's trying to do. Bode's your punter. Makes you always weary as a coach when your quarterback's the punter.
But not in this situation.
Nope. 14 times he's punted this year. This one will be with the wind. It'll be a low one. Nagel with the return from his own 40. Trying to cut back and looking for a lane. And he gets out to midfield, and he'll stop there. And Lamont will start there. 36-yard punt and 10 yards on the return. Lamont's offense with good field position for the first time.
Well, Nazareth had good field position 2 consecutive possessions. The first one they hit Pater on. That time on this possession number 2, they basically went backwards. Ryan Dawson has to get his ship righted right now. We'll see if they can get any kind of running game going to set up Flynn Nagel and Jimmy Kaparis in the running game.
Dawson will start it from midfield. And he'll look to throw. Short route. Flynn can't hang on to it. Not quite. Nagel tried to bounce it around a bit. A little out of his range. And credit the coverage. Xavier Kelly Martin in on the play. Watch it again. just couldn't hit him in stride.
Yeah, just a three-step drop right there, a skinny post, if you will, and the back shoulder to Nagel, a ball that he usually would be able to turn around, come up with a creative catch on. That time, he basically tried to bat it to himself, but was not able to get the job done.
Bottom of your screen, the two stars going against each other, Nagel and Love. Two receivers to the near side. Dawson will throw. Now a step up and run. A lot of room to run. First down and more. Inside the 35. Tries to escape out of a tackle, and he's dropped right at the 24-yard line. 26 yards on the pickup. Good wheels there.
Well, there's no doubt. Good recognition. Once things broke down, we might see the replay. We'll see Nazareth bring not one, but two inside linebackers. So they gamble in this situation. See the two backers come, they gamble, lose. Once he gets to the first level of fence, 6 people, the backers are gone. No one left. It's Katie Barladoa for a big run. Good camera work there as far as Nazareth's blitz and their ability to pick it up by Lamont.
Bakovic recognized it for a second. He could not get back there. But it's a first down and a big pickup for Lamont. Knocking on the door. There's Dawson in shotgun. Offset, shotgun set up. Dawson will throw, tried the inside screen to Nagel. He got bumped on the way in. And a flag on the far side of the field. That's in the neighborhood of illegal shift. But hold on a second, they're pointing the other way for a brief moment. Official calls a face mask against Nazareth.
That flag came out early. Usually a face mask comes later in the play.
Face mask, defense number 1. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Take it down.
Call that one an Ivory Kelly Martin, the sophomore brother of Xavier.
And that's at least 4 times that Flynn Nagel's been targeted already in this first quarter.
That's exactly what they want to do, and you can see they want him to have the football and just to be able to run with it more than anything else. It's not so much a deep threat. That's there, but we'll work him in the inside screen as well. Pump fake for Dawson, looking deep. Wide open man in the end zone. Contact and a penalty. Nagel was open for a second, and that's actually a good penalty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They saved a touchdown with the penalty. Well-executed play by Lamont. You have a hitch and go. You have the pump fake for the quarterback, Dawson. He knew he was going to lock in. Nagel takes his man to the outside, beats his man. There's the pump fake right there with his shoulder. At the top of your screen was Nagel, who took his man to the outside of the pump fake, and then Kelly Martin with the contact, which saved the touchdown at least for now.
Pass interference, defense number 1. Half distance to the goal. Enough yardage for a first down.
Ivory Kelly Martin did not have his face to the ball. Watch him, didn't turn at all. Plenty of contact there, but that didn't help.
Man-to-man coverage, you are watching the receiver. What you're taught to do as a defensive back is when the receiver turns back to find the ball, that's when you turn back to find the ball. He never got the job done.
Nagel's the inside receiver, now in motion. Dawson, the end around, trying to turn the corner. Stayed in bounds and then knocked out late. Thomas Blecka with the carry there.
How about Blecka showing some balance right there, being able to tiptoe the sideline.
Ran that fake end around, and they actually handed it to him. Almost looked like a face mask, but yeah, he tiptoed maybe about 3 more yards as a result of that. Watch it again. Stayed in.
Right to toe the line.
Oh, balance is your friend. No, knocked out. About 2 or 3 yards there.
Balance, agility, and vision, the makings of a great running back.
Penalty there. Somebody moved. A lot of movement. It's going to be offsides.
Dead ball. Encroachment, defense, number 28. Half inch to the goal. Repeat, second down.
So a couple of penalties have helped Lamont get a little bit closer. Work their way to the goal line here, knocking on the door inside the 5 now.
So Naz going to go ahead and Nazareth going to stuff the box right now. They got 7 inside playing running game defense.
Lista in motion. Blecka to the end zone. Touchdown, Indians. Lamont's on the board for 4 yards, and Blecka gets in for 6.
Big hole on the left side, just opened up like the Red Sea was parted right there. Quick inside handoff. Bleckett goes in almost untouched. And a young man pretty juiced up right now with his ability to get a couple touches and make plays and get his team to within one.
So Lamont able to work their way down the field, taking advantage of good field position. And the extra point. Marcin Orzulik connects, and it's good. We are tied. Back and forth we go. Nazareth with the explosive offense. Lamont says, hey, we have some offense too. Back and forth in Champaign. The 6-8 title game, all tied up. Nazareth and Lamont all tied at 7 after the Indians punch it into the end zone. Thomas Blecka, reserve from last year's team. You wore number 8 a year ago. You switch to 21 and you get 6 in the state championship game as a result.
Couple touches on that drive, including this one. Inside handoff, they pull the tackle on the weak side into the strong side. Then center Casey O'Brien, after Kacharski makes a nice block, center Casey O'Brien says, follow me to the end zone, and his running back did just that. It's
a senior-laden offensive line with Casey O'Brien, the lone junior, but 280, 240, 235, 210, and 225. Big enough. Big enough with the quickness, and you want to go with tempo. You don't want to be that big, just big enough to be able to power run. Zulik taken at the 21-yard line. Love will look for a hole. No love for Julian Love on that return. He gets out to the 37-yard line. Naz will start there after 16 yards.
With a 7-7 score up on the big board, each team has taken advantage of a short field and scored on that short field. And look at Julian Love's numbers. He can make some big plays. That comes out to, you know, some big yardage per catch, no doubt about that. 27.5 yards per catch. That's scary.
It's a long way. It's a long time down the field with the touch every time. And add the 700 yards plus on the ground as well, the dual threat. Bode hands it. And this time it's Nolan Dean. Not a whole lot of room for him, but 5 yards out of it despite that. We talked about the quarterback battle for Jonah Boutte, and when you talk about the two, between Carson Bartles, he'll be number 3, and you'll see him out there. But they're both similar, they're both athletic, and they really don't have an advantage over each other. Sometimes they've just been able to stick with Bode because he's just the hot quarterback.
And you know what? When you get down the stretch of playoff run, you do, you know, stick with a hot hand. But it's nice to know you have a guy in your back pocket that you can change tempo with, or you could, you know, if you need a play here or there.
In fact, Tim Rackey will say that Carson's more accurate of a thrower than anything else, but because Jonah's faster and the fastest on the team, he throws a deeper ball as well. He kind of gets the edge a little bit. But also, Bartles being a junior and Bode being a senior, you tend to want to give the nod to the senior at this level.
Yeah.
3rd down and 4. Julian Love trying to turn the corner to get the first down, and it looks like he's going to be about a half a yard short. So a lot of Julian Love early. And the stop on that play, Austin Schaffert, the sophomore, one of the leading tacklers and one of the big linebackers for Lamont's defense this year.
Lamont basically staying in a 4-man front 4-3 defense, but again, they'll change their looks.
They're going to go for it here at 4th and 1.
Gutsy call with the field position. See if they try to draw him offside with a voice first.
Right at midfield, Bode will go under center. That's power I left. That's old school football there. He'll hand it off. Looking for space. Dean spinning out of the tackle. Got the first down towards the sideline, and he picks up about 10. 11 to be exact. And they get the first down on 4th down.
And Nolan Dean, 6'2", 215. He looked like he was stood up in the line of scrimmage. It's double tight end, power I as you called it. And then he hits the first line, spins off one tackle, showing great balance. Once he punches it to the outside, there wasn't much at home to help until he picks up a good chunk of yardage.
Tense Nazareth group. Yeah, we got the first down. Nerve-wracking for sure. Dean again and tripped up in the backfield. Jason Kepke making some noise. Senior makes the tackle. This defensive line, a lot of names familiar from a 3-6 team a year ago. And so What happened last year, they don't know. They're not exactly sure. They couldn't do things that they wanted to. But to have Flynn Nagel, to have the freshman running back as well, offensively they're better. But defensively, it's a lot of the same parts. Option this time. Dean stuffed as he reaches forward to maybe get a yard or two. Big-time tackle there by Sean McPartland, the junior.
Boy, fundamental tackling, squaring up, playing square football, got his cleats into the ground, and just threw the ball, drove his head through the ball carrier. Little option right there, good pitch at the right time. But you know what? It's gap responsibility and the territory responsibility right there. McPartland, 5'10", 160, just got it done.
Strong safety shedding that block on the edge. Bode on 3rd and 8. Pressure coming, he escapes it, and room to run down the sideline. Steps out of bounds at the 12. Jonah Bode with his feet, finding his way 24 yards downfield for the first down. Naz back in business.
Well, there's no doubt he did it with his feet right there, extending the play. Watch him, his eyes are downfield, his eyes are downfield. Now he feels a little bit of pressure, has the presence of mind to get to the edge, and then it was his speed that got the job done down the sideline.
Michael Gassianica, senior lineman, that was trying to chase him down there. Couldn't quite get there. Handoff for Bode as he hands it to Ivory Kelly Martin. We've seen him on defense. He's going both ways a little bit. And he picks up a couple of yards on 1st and goal. Gets it down to the 6, maybe 3 there.
Red zone score so critical. Only get so many opportunities per ball game. You got to cash in. A good percentage of touchdowns is about 60%.
Dean on the carry, spins forward towards the goal line. And if you're thinking about the wind, you want to score now so you can kick with the wind as opposed to kicking off against it.
So you might want to try to get one more play in here in a hurry if they have the presence of mind that you do.
Nazareth with -5 yards to start the drive on the ground. Now they're up to 56, so they've started to churn them out a little bit. You get a look at that stiff wind. It has been like that all weekend and stronger today than yesterday, even though it's a little bit warmer. Will they get this play off?
They're not in a hurry-up mode.
3rd and goal. Dean to the goal line. Touchdown. Nazareth punches it in. The touchdown, about 2 yards out. It says time expires. They're going to kick off going the other way, but they'll take the 6 instead.
Power football off the right side. Nolan Dean, 28 touchdowns on the year. Playing a little smash mouth football, power eye to the right. Some good lead blocking, low pad level into the end zone.
High snap for the extra point. It's up and it is good. 14-7, back and forth. And Nolan Dean finding the end zone. He's done it a lot this year. Goal line push up front for the Roadrunners. We've reached the end of the first quarter. Nolan Dean following his lead blockers and following him into the end zone. 14-7, Nazareth with the lead. Lamont set to receive the kickoff to start the second quarter. Saw it in our 5A game, we see it again. Losers walk. You score at the end of the quarter, they flip the field for the kickoff, and then the defense has to go all the way to the other end. So Lamont will receive this kickoff. Hillsman, a low squibber, picked up by one of the upbacks. Not a whole lot of room ahead for Brian Luciano, the senior receiver who ended up with it. And a pickup of 14 yards, a good field position for Lamont. Nazareth answering with a 4-minute drive after Lamont punched it in to tie things up.
Well, we've seen some offense, and we expected to see some offense. You know, both teams' ball security has been solid. You know, the turnovers haven't been here, but normally in a championship caliber game, the team that takes care of the ball best will indeed win. That and running the football, although we have a couple aerial attacks that are pretty well in high gear here today.
Jimmy Kaporis in motion, everyone to the right. And they'll run it instead, and not much room. The draw didn't work. And that was Anthony Martin on the carry, and that Naz defense up in the backfield quickly.
Martin averaged a 5.2 a carry. They go under center, go with a draw on first down, which is an atypical call, if you will. And as you mentioned, the teeth of the Nazareth defense sitting there. Good look at their 4-3 alignment.
A loss of 3 on that play. Flynn Nagel, the star receiver for Lamont, in the slot right now. Little motion, fake the end around, and Dawson to throw. Deep ball down the middle of the field. Open man, overshot him a little bit. Kaporis was open for a step or two on Ivory Kelly Martin.
Well, anytime they put Nagel in motion, they put him in a jet motion, then they had him out in the flat. That freezes everyone else. And one-on-one coverage put a nice job downfield on a ball that was just a little bit overthrown by Ryan Dawson, a little bit too much juice on it.
I get the feeling that the rhythm has changed a little bit for Lamont after that score. And now they're looking at 3rd and 13 from their own 32-yard line. They've got to get to the 46. Check that, the 33-yard line. Dawson in shotgun. Steps up. Now will run it out to about the 39. It's going to be well short of a first down. And that's going to force Lamont to punt the football.
Nice tackle in space by Christian Davis. Says it was man coverage downfield. It broke down, but staying right at home to make the play. Solid football fundamentals.
Keep an eye on those ankles when you get tackled like that. Ryan Dawson, anytime you run, you turn that foot a little bit in the ground, you plant it like that. We saw that in the end zone at one point in our 5A game. Nagel to punt, and it is a spiraling punt, deep punt. Look at this, he's gonna bounce all the way towards the goal line. Can he get there? No, not quite. Quite the effort down there. That was Jacob McNamara sprinting all the way down there to try and down it inside the 1, couldn't do it. 62-yard punt. It's going to bring things out to the 20, though. Naz gets it back, a chance to go up by 2 scores. Methodical on that last drive with the rush. You expect more of the same.
Well, yeah, establish running game. Run the ball, stop the run. Championship caliber football. You got a good running back in there, no doubt about that. You got to keep feeding the horse.
We'll see how they do when they come back. Nazareth with a 14-7 lead on Lamont. We're early in the second quarter. Stay with us here. High school football continues next year on Comcast Sportsnet. 14-7 lead for Nazareth as they take over, and after a long punt. How long was that? It was 62 yards by Flynn Nagel. That is a Class 6A record by a whole yard. So Dan Pullman, who had that record for 16 years for Barrington, for Wheaton Warrenville South in that game, no longer now. It's now second all-time in the Class 6A format. Quick give ahead. And not a whole lot of room there. Anthony Martin on the carry. Check that. That is Chris Simmons getting the ball the first time.
And if they would have been able to bet that ball back and down to the 2 or whatever, he would have broken the record.
Would not. That's it. Second down coming up here. 2nd and 8. Receivers to each side. They go offset I this time, and Dean once again on the carry. And Lamont is stopping the run so far. Let's send it downstairs and check in with Kelly Kroll.
Well, guys, the Roadrunners trying to obviously add to their lead here. And Coach was telling me before this game that in the summer, they received a lot of hype from the media, setting very high expectations. And he said that could be a dangerous thing when your team starts reading their own headlines. So they've used the metaphor cheese all summer or all season long. And he says that's to basically implicate a mouse trap. You get caught in a trap when you start doing those kinds of things. So cheese, the metaphor for this team this season.
It's always our fault, isn't it? Always the media's fault for ruining things. Thank you, Kelly. Run on 3rd down, and not much out of that drive from Nazareth, and they're going to punt the football away. But rightfully so, as far as a lot of people talking about Nazareth in the preseason. With the conference as stacked as it's been in the East Suburban, with Joliet Catholic and Marist playing very well, Naz, you kind of get the feeling in the last few years that it was going to be their turn this year.
Right, they had an offensive line that's big and strong, and they knew they could protect. They knew they could open seams. They had some quality people back, and it's a program that's grown to know how to win.
And with Tim Rackey's experience at Driscoll and taking the time to build it, Jonah Bode with the rugby-style kick, and picked up by Nagel at the 42. And he'll get a couple of yards out of that, so it saves him a whole 6 yards after the 36-yard punt. But Nazareth's program, it's slowly built. You've been able to feel that if you pay attention to high school football as the season's going on and the years have gone on. Year by year, they get closer and closer, and you had the feeling that this would be the year, and they did break through. It has been impressive how much they've been able to break through.
Well, you know, and actually the overall athletic program, they've been successful. Basketball, the baseball tournament team made a state tournament run. Many of these people, multi-sport athletes, so winning breeds winning, and quality athletes are, you know, can play at any field that you mentioned, winter, spring, or fall.
And in motion, that's Glista. Dawson, play action, rolls out. And had a man for a second, but dropped. Dimitri Giatris could not hang on to it. And 3 and outs by both teams here. And I feel like the offensive rhythm we had stalled out on both sides of the football.
Exactly. That's the best way to describe it, is there's not any rhythm right now. And sometimes it just takes one big play to find that rhythm.
See how close that was, just off target a little bit. Mountain come to line with 2nd down and 10. They're at their own 44-yard line midway through the 2nd quarter. That play won't get started after a timeout for Lamont.
Timeout, Lamont. First time out of half.
Good timeout at this point.
Well, you know, there was something that they didn't like what they saw, and so you don't want to make a decision that you're going to regret. You take the timeout. That's the prudent thing to do.
They'll take one. We'll take one. We'll be right back. Nazareth with a 14-7 lead on Lamont here in our Class 6A title game. Touchdown lead for the Roadrunners over the Indians, and we're midway through our 2nd quarter. And Lamont used a timeout to set up this drive, as we've seen both these teams go 3 and out these last couple of possessions. You get the feeling that Brett Coy knows this is a big possession for them to try and get some momentum back on their side. 2 receivers, Glista in motion. Dawson to throw. Right side, unloads, open man, jump ball, and too high for Nagel to haul it in. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, they came from a blitz on the outside, protected it well, time to throw the football, but just too tall. No chance for the catch.
And they've tried to get Flynn Nagel involved on the inside screen, the little bubble screen. They've done that a couple of times. Hasn't been all that effective, but it's shown the look that they have to pay attention to. The deep balls, we haven't seen them work out very well either. Their success has come on the ground.
Right, but the bottom line is you want to try to show as much as you possibly can. You know, take a shot downfield here or there, but then establish a run. That's what's going to get you a football game.
Ryan Dawson, 2 of 7 for just 8 yards throwing the ball. He'll throw again to the right side. Glista, he had the other catch. That's 15 yards. And the first down, a big conversion on 3rd down.
Great job on the rollout right here as he sprints to his right, squares his shoulders, vision downfield. He keeps his eyes downfield, and then look at 2 hands, just like you would be coached, getting the hands out, being soft but strong at the same time.
Only had 1 foot down. Only need 1 foot down. Right foot, he had the 2nd foot halfway out of bounds. Glista's on the outside this time. Nagel in the slot, now in motion. Fresh set of downs for Ryan Dawson. Pressure coming, here's the screen. And it didn't work. Thomas Blecka didn't go anywhere. And another loss of yards on 1st down. They've done it a few times.
Well, he had 2 blockers out in front. Unfortunately, neither one of them was able to get a good angle to make a block at the point of attack. The play's just blown up, and good read right there by the Nazareth defense.
Let's send it downstairs and check in with Garrett Wolf.
This Lamont team approaches every game as if it's a family business. At least 4 of the football players on this team has older brothers and siblings that have played for this Lamont program. They even went so far with the business approach as to previously, in the earlier part of the season, taking their team photo in suits and ties and imposing the Chicago skyline in the background. And as you can see, they're here to take care of business today.
All right, thank you, Garrett. You saw Dawson scrambling there, and that near interception hit the turf. A wild play there for the Indians. Hard to tell whether it was a catch or not.
Holding pattern, holding penalties will bring that back another 10 yards. as Nazareth is really getting some good push with their defensive front four, front seven, bringing their linebackers at times.
Lamont's had a playoff record since 2007 of 18-6, so they have been deep into the playoffs and made deep runs.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
And they're used to winning football games. They've had 4 now unbeaten seasons since 2008. That's not a long time. And so when you talk about that 3-16 from a year ago, just kind of mixed right in there. And it's just kind of the aberration and all that. Brett Coy did not like that call. He wanted a face mask the other way.
36 yards for a first down.
Second in a country mile.
Yeah, my goodness.
What do you got in the playbook for this?
Nothing.
See how the Indians respond. How about a simple run play? Oh, hold on to the football there. Blecka dropped it for a moment. Gain of a yard, maybe.
Well, there's certainly a time to be aggressive, and there's a time that you do have a more conservative game plan. And right now, with this situation, 3rd and still 36, what have you, the clock ticking for you, I don't think you want to put the ball up for grabs right here. If it's a pass, it'll be a safe one.
Neighborhood of a screen pass,
yep.
Maybe a draw. A tight coverage, though, and both receivers on each end. Dawson, he will throw. He's got room to run if he wants it. He'll tuck it in. 40-yard line. Gets out towards midfield and drilled. And sat down there by Matthew Flack. He got 16 back on that one. A little easier to punt with.
Yeah, so that yardage was absolutely huge because whatever this punt yardage is, 30, 35, tack on 16 to that. Nazareth was in man-to-man coverage. There were deep routes all over the place. People are watching their man rather than quarterback. The play breaks down. Quarterback has real estate to roam.
We talk about field position, but you don't really see it until a play like that and how much it matters to coaches in this kind of game. Glenn Nagel will do the rugby-style punt, and he'll kick it towards the corner, and it's not ideal. So after his record-setting punt, you get that out of it, and I'm sure he's not too thrilled by that. On the year, he averages 34. So that one comes up a little bit short, about 23 yards on the punt.
So you got the headband on right there, huh? But what's the green color? There's your neon again.
It's neon.
It's neon. It's got a shine.
The kids wear neon everything. You see the gloves, you see the shoes, you see all of it. Everything's neon all the time. But it's hard to do, Mark, when you have blue and old gold as your uniform.
It doesn't match.
It doesn't really work.
I thought maybe that was a Matt Rodewald look. I don't know.
It's not. No, not at all. Nolan Dean, the carry up ahead, right up the middle for about 8 or 9 yards. And 8 yards in the pickup officially, and you kind of get the idea of the game plan for the Roadrunners now. Keep it on the ground, keep punching it right up the middle.
Yeah, when you got Nolan Dean, that's a good thing to do, no doubt. 6'2", 215. They fake the end around the jet, and then they go power up.
Little wing offense there. Love with a carry. First down and more. Out to the 44. A hint of a wing T set there.
Well, any way to get Julian Love touches, you got to get him involved in the football game. You got to get your playmakers enough touches, and every coach has a goal. I want to get so many targets to so-and-so. I want to get so many touches to so-and-so, and that's one way of doing it.
Give ahead to Dean. They fake the handoff first, and he gets maybe a yard on the fresh set of downs. Keep an eye on that clock here. You could run it down for Nazareth and maybe get one more score before the half and limit Lamont's touches. You would say that would be a very successful half considering what the Indians want to do with Flynn Nagel and company. And in motion, Baudet to throw, but nowhere to go. Pressure, and down he goes. The sack, Hunter LeDuc was right in his face, and he drops him for the loss.
Well, good job by Hunter LeDuc reading the play. There was play action. He didn't bite whatsoever. Stayed right where he belonged on the defensive side. Squares himself up, makes a good play. His 42nd solo tackle of the season. That one in space, and he just kind of held on.
Kept outside contained, didn't let him get to the outside. And that is a big play for the Indians defense to force a long 3rd and 17 coming up.
So we had a 3rd and 36. This one's a short one, 3rd and 17, huh?
Fine, it's manageable at this point. Bode to throw. Plenty of time. Still thinking about throwing and dropped from behind. Didn't see that one coming. And Joshua Rogers in for the sack. 2 straight losses for Nazareth, and they'll punt.
Rogers comes up, and the play was elongated. He's buying time. He checks off to his right, uses his feet to keep a play alive. But once the play's extended, you got not 1, not 2, but 3 gold hats around it before the final play by Rogers to clean it up.
Got his fist pumping there. He had a big one against Richards. A very good outing. Led the team in tackles. And a big win in the quarterfinals. Punt by Bode. Taken by Nagel at the 36. And tackled from behind. And Lamont will start there. Outside of their 40. Good field position again. 8 yards on the return after the 28-yard punt.
Lamont needs to right now regroup offensively, go back to their identity. They certainly need to get Flynn Nagel some touches, get more involved. They tried to do that in a myriad of ways in the first quarter. Not much of a factor here in the second quarter. I'm sure they'll try to reestablish the Duke recruit on this possession.
2 receivers to the top. Nagel to the near side. There he is with the catch. Spins out of a tackle. Looking for space. Finds his way down the sideline. And that's 8 guys pursuing him right there. Everyone spying on him. 17 yards on the catch and run.
We just talked about they go to him, they target him right away. He gets one-on-one. He uses the spin move to get to the outside. You got yards after the catch. You got yards after contact. That's why he's an all-stater. Makes a man miss, and then he makes 2 more guys miss just with his ability to juke in the open field. And then you mentioned it. There's a bunch of other hats getting after, what, 5 or 6 total.
3 tackles he eluded there. 3 of them. There he is up top now. 3 catches for 26 yards. Dawson will throw again. Right side, Glista just out of his reach. In the flat. Incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Dawson comes into this football game. We talked about his 2,400 almost yards of aerial yardage, but he's 66% on the season. He's misfired a few times today, maybe just a little bit too quick with some of his throws. Got to take that deep breath, be patient, and let the game come back to him.
5 of 11 for 37 yards. Not exactly the passing numbers that Brett Coy wants.
Offense averaging 40 points per game on the season.
Sense of urgency picking up in both sides. Dawson to throw again. There's Nagel on the slant. Caught near the first down marker. They're going to give it to him just inside the 29-yard line. 11 yards. We're under 3 minutes in this first half. This is a good drive for Lamont to close things out.
No doubt. 3-step drop on that play. He looked to his left. There it is. 1, 2, 3. A timing pattern. Gets a good block up front. Then with an inside edge, he hits his receiver right in stride. You got to go to the go-to guy, and that would be none other than Flynn Nagel.
Julian Love in the coverage. Gave him the inside position. Dawson, he'll hand it off. Blecka down to the 25-yard line. And Nazareth sees that clock running. They're going to stop it.
Nazareth, the first time of the half.
Got 2 more to work with, and so if they want to use the timeouts to maybe give themselves 1 more opportunity at it, they can do that.
Well, I think you got 2 things. You got that school of thought, and you have Tim Rackey knowing that right now, for the first time, his team back on their heels just a little bit. Time to regroup, refocus, talk about gap responsibilities, talk about knowing who's responsible for Nagel on underneath stuff, on outside stuff, and just, guys, remember your checkdowns, remember your keys, remember everything that we've done in the film room and in media rooms this entire week.
Get a look at the defense for Nazareth. A group that includes 7 seniors and 2 juniors and 2 sophomores. It's a pretty good group. And you also have, you see right on the right there in that group, Matt Prendergast, who's a junior right in the mix. So he comes off the bench and adds a different look for them, and will no doubt be in the starting rotation a year from now.
Well, again, that's a matter of developing depth at every position, and both of these teams have that. They got some guys that they can put in and not skip a beat on both sides of the football.
Out of the timeout. Flint Nagel to the top. And Dawson will look towards him, pump fake, pressure coming. He escapes it now deep down the field. Jump ball, and it's intercepted. Taken away. Julian Love with the pick in the end zone, and that ends the drive for Lamont.
What a great interception by Julian Love. 5'11", but he played much taller than that. As he was step for step on the pump and go right there. Once the initial pressure was eluded, it's a jump ball, and who comes up with it? Number 20.
No love for Flint Nagel. He takes it right away from him, who had two hands on it. That's a spectacular interception.
Yeah, what a great picture of two superb athletes going at each other one-on-one, and Love wins that particular battle to give his team the football back.
Just what you want to see, the two stars battling in the state championship game, and now Nazareth with a chance to do something with it. Nolan Dean spins his way out towards the 30-yard line, and with 2 timeouts and 70 yards to work with, Nazareth could make something happen here. 9 yards on that pickup. They're short of the first down.
Dean is a fun player to watch run. A little inside handoff. It's his guard out in front of him.
Pressure coming now. Bodé has to get rid of it, but he won't. The sack again. Hunter LeDuc in on the stop, and Josh Rogers there again as well. And a whistle. Someone stopped the clock.
Timeout, Lamont. Second timeout of the half.
And so they had 2nd and 1, and this brings up 3rd down.
But now your play calling quite clearly is much changed, because 3rd and 9, statistically, data tells you not a real manageable situation. Probably in the low 20s that they would convert this. So do you go ahead, keep the ball underneath, and make sure that you do not leave any time on the scoreboard should Lamont get the ball back.
Look at that Naz sideline, and a lot of water is being spread around. Gatorade, fluids. We talked about this in the open. A concern about flu that spread around to maybe 19 of the guys. This is a bad week for them.
And you talk about that water, fluid, Gatorade. I hope they're not sharing those water bottles.
At least keep fluids in it. You don't like where that's going,
yeah.
But I think it's one of those, you know what, bite the bullet, get some water in you.
The damage has been done, right?
Right. You just kind of have to deal with it at that point. But that can't be fun. And to have that many guys, that definitely tells you that fatigue is a concern.
Bodé in the pistol, he's got to make sure he has ball security here.
Bodé will keep it. Now he'll pitch it. Last second, Dean nowhere to run, and he's dropped. Austin Schaffert there for the stop. Lamont takes the timeout, and they will get the ball back for one more shot with it.
Timeout, Lamont. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Good timeout called in a hurry by Brett Coy. That's his final timeout, but what he's going to do is make Nazareth punt the ball securely. You need a positive snap, a positive punt, and even if those two things occur, he should get some decent field position with, about a minute to go, even though he would be out of timeouts.
And a little help from the skies as well. That wind is still howling, and you're punting directly into that.
Well, we had bright sunshine we got here for the first game, the 5A championship, and now we got some overcast clouds coming in. And that flag continues to show the factor that the wind is today.
It is brisk day from a wind standpoint, but warm by all means as far as the season goes.
Well, that's why they always talk about running teams, no matter what level, having success in November, because when the weather changes, the passing game, kicking game, more effective than the running game. That can stay pretty consistent no matter what the elements.
How about 52 degrees right now here in Champaign? I think a lot of people take that. Spiral punt, but it's kept low though. And Nagel will take it. Last second, can he get out of that tackle? He can. Cuts up the corner and tiptoed his way up towards the 49-yard line. Extra 9 yards as a result of that 39-yard punt.
You know, I don't think he should have fielded the ball, but that's not because I'm not very smart, and that's the kind of athlete he is. That was a dangerous play, and instead he pulls his best Houdini act right there and gets 9 yards positive to give his team field position.
Oh, that made me nervous. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that now. So big drive for Lamont. Dawson throwing it down the middle of the field. Has Kapoor, and it's intercepted again. Intercepted and picked off and returned. Matthew Fleck back out to the 34-yard line. 22 yards on the return.
Matthew Fleck, 6 foot 180, a senior, just kind of playing center field. Obviously, they were in deep coverage with their safeties, and they took a shot downfield anyway. Nazareth right there to make a play. That is a situation where it really doesn't hurt you. Go ahead and take a shot downfield. You're out of timeouts. You know, you got a 65-yard field to work with for your opponent, so pretty good decision right there to take a shot at it.
It's a second straight drive that's ended on an interception for Dawson. And so Naz will get one more shot at it. Why not? Back and forth we go. Bode on the screen. Flag comes in late from the back. They tried to get it to Kevin Jackson on the screen, and he wasn't able to haul it in. And let's see what the penalty is. Gonna be a new set of downs.
Holding. Defense, number 33. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Up yards, first down.
Frank Pignoni, who's been quiet today, gets called for the penalty. Here's the interception again.
So nice read of the ball. He turns his head, finds the ball, and able to finish the play right there with Matthew Fleck. And again, playing center field, deep safety position there on a prevent defense situation.
Flare out to the right side. Chris Simmons spinning. Can't get past the tackler. He picked up the first down. The clock will stop to move the chains. 11 yards there. And Nazareth with 2 timeouts still to work with here in these final 41 seconds.
You got the dead clock on the first down, but they decide to use one anyway before we restart on the move of the chains.
Timeout, Nazareth.
I don't think everyone was organized enough to go in the no-huddle 2-minute offense there. And so instead of risking it and wasting time, they'll use the timeout right here.
Nazareth's second timeout.
14-7 lead for Nazareth. And Mr. Bode has had a pretty good day so far. Passing the ball. Combined 48 yards passing. A lot of running the ball so for Nazareth. They've been able to keep it on the ground and keep it efficient. Nolan Dean with 12 carries and 51 yards so far.
Now Nazareth, a situation with that 14-7 lead, 40 seconds to go, 1 timeout, is that we could do a little bit of a game reset. Bottom line is, yes, you'd like a touchdown, but you know what? They know the range of their field goal kicker. If they can get this to within like a 35-yard kick, get a field goal at the end of the half, even those points on the board make it a 2-possession game.
End around, they'll fake it. Bode, a receiver downfield. That's Jackson again, inside the 10. Kevin Jackson with his second big catch of the day. 32 yards, and inside the red zone, the Roadrunners will need to move quickly with 1 timeout to go.
Jackson had a touchdown earlier in the game. This one he lays out for it on the long ball, and now the whole thought process is just a little bit different. Now you are thinking end zone, clock running on that move of the chains.
Here we go, the clock running. They hand off to Dean, and they stop inside the 12, and with 1 more timeout to go, clock continues to run. They'll finally use it here with 20 seconds left.
So this is
timeout, Nazareth. Their final timeout of the half.
This is a situation with no timeouts now. A couple quite obvious things have to take place. 1, your shot has to be in the end zone. 2, you cannot take a sack. So those 2 things, by burning that last timeout, have come into play. You have to protect your quarterback. Your quarterback has to make a decision that he's going to get rid of the football if need be. Don't take a sack, which would give your kicking team time to get on the field and make this a 2-possession game.
Indians know that too, and considering the fact that they've had a couple of sacks on some rollouts, they've been able to get in the backfield a little bit. If you're Brett Coy and you're the Lamont coaching staff and the defensive guys there and John Hall and company, how do you attack this here? Because you know they're going to try for the end zone, but you don't want to gamble and lose here.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what you're going through with all of your play scenarios. And everybody says, oh, put pressure on the quarterback. That leaves more avenues to throw downfield. I think what they'll probably do is sit back in a zone coverage, let anything happen in front of them, and sit back, make sure you protect your end zone right now. There'll probably be a four deep zone quarters with press coverage on the outside.
For what it's worth, they're inside Mike Hillsman's field goal range easily. Bode looking to throw all day. Clock ticking, needs some help. Now will throw to the end zone. Open man, and a beautiful play by Jake Pack coming out of nowhere for the deflection to knock it away. He saved 6 with that play.
There's no doubt about that. And that play took, what, like 12 seconds, I believe there was. Unbelievable. And I don't know if they have time to throw one more. I think if you have a field goal situation you feel comfortable with, you got to go ahead and kick it now.
Great play coming out by Jake Pack, the 5'8" senior. He laid out with everything he had to get a left hand on it. That is a tough play for a corner to make on the scramble. 3rd and 10, 2 plays left, can't take a sack. Bode to throw, end zone again, tipped, it falls, and it's incomplete. And the clock sits with 2 seconds left. So what do you do? Do you take 3, or do you go for one more shot at the end zone?
No, I think you go ahead. If you feel comfortable with your kicking game, you go ahead and make a 2-possession game. And you know, they were playing with the fire of time on that one. They come up 2 seconds to the better, where it gets them a chance to get their field goal kicking team out there.
Look how close this was to being both a catch and an interception. Oh, right there, right through his hands. This is a 28-yard field goal try for Mike Hillsman. It's no good. They say it's off to the right. So they come up empty here on their final drive as we head to the half. Nazareth moving the football, getting up and down the field with the run, and some big plays as well, courtesy of Kevin Jackson. But Lamont escapes with no points in that final drive after turning the ball over twice.